Hi, welcome to another episode in our series of short video clips highlighting the many features of ClientNote, a CRM system designed for immigration consultants and legal professionals. This episode will focus on ClientNote's Project Planner feature. For the more time-consuming and task-intensive immigration applications, a good way to manage your customers' expectations is to ensure they are aware of the progress being made on their application and for them to understand where they are at in the overall process. ClientNote has a Client Project Planner module that can help with this. There are 4 key features of this module: the ability to define an overall project description with planned versus actual completion dates, the ability to define high-level project milestones with planned versus actual completion dates, the ability to define tasks for each milestone, along with the overall percentage of completion that each task represents, and the ability to generate a project summary status report to send to your clients. Let's demonstrate these features. So to present this today, we've created a standard project based on one of our fictional clients' immigration applications. So when we created the project, we went in and defined an overall project with a short description describing what the project was entailing. We put the planned start date, the actual start date, the planned end date, and later, once the project's completed, we can fill in the actual end date. We estimated the number of hours that we would be spending on this project, and this is more for our own internal purposes than for the customer themselves, as we tend to build a flat rate for this, but more for our own accounting purposes, we provided these fields, as well as the actual hours when the project is done. Same thing with cost. We have an estimated cost for us to do this work for the client and what turned out to be the actual cost at the end, just again for your own tracking of the numerous projects and applications that you handle for clients. You'll see over on the right, you have project key milestones, and these are basically high-level milestones for certain levels of completion of the overall application process. So for example, a PMP application, you would have a pre-qualification stage, an application PDF form completion stage, business plan development, application package submitted to government, approval decision rendered. You can put in a planned completion date for these, purely just estimates at this point. But again, in the life of the application, you could identify whatever amount of key milestones that you wish for your project. These are what we chose for our sample project here. Now, for each of these milestones, there could be one or more tasks associated to it. So for example, if I look at the pre-qualification stage and click View Tasks, you'll see down below, these are the individual tasks based on which milestone we selected above. So at the pre-qualification stage, there would be 3 subtasks for that, which would be initial consultation, document all contact information in ClientNote, request and receive docs and proof of citizenship, etc. You can add more if you wish. You just simply click Add New Task, and more will appear at the bottom. You can move them up or down in terms of the order. And the key thing to note here is that the percent effort of overall project, this is your own assessment in the overall scheme of things, what percent this individual task represents overall. And this comes into play in terms of this field here, which is the overall completion percentage. This is a non-editable field that is based on what you've entered here in your task layout. So for each of the milestones, if you ended up with a combined total of 20 tasks and all of those tasks were each 5% of the overall process, then that would equal the 100%. So as you can see, you can really kind of control which of these tasks have the greater percentage of the overall effort. If we click on business plan development, for example, these are fairly high percentages of the overall effort, and each of the tasks within the business plan development each have their own percentage. But overall, if you add these together, 40, 50, 70, we're basically saying that the business plan development is 70% of the overall effort and application process here. So a fairly significant item. Now, once you've identified all of these tasks at any given time, you can go in and set the percentage complete on the items. For example, here for initial consultation and document all contact information in ClientNote, we deemed these both 100%. And then we had said that the request for docs and proof of citizenship were only halfway there, 50% of that's done. So we really only have a total there of 3% completion. And then here, we're 25% of the way through a task of sending out the immigration forms and discuss requirements. So if you factor all of those together, it brings you to the 3.75% completion. Now, your client doesn't need to see all of these task details and percentages. So what we've done here is we've created a very simple summary report that only identifies the high-level milestone events and does the math to include the percentages of completion for each of the tasks to give the overall percentage completion. So if you sent one of these to your client each month or every couple of weeks, I guess their expectation would be that this percentage would be continually rising as you move towards the completion of the project. So in summary, while not all customers will ask for this level of status reporting, providing a periodic status summary report like this will show them you are organized, professional, and have their process well under control. That concludes our presentation today. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and we hope you get an opportunity to look at some of our other videos highlighting the many features of ClientNote.